I want to introduce the next comic. She's very funny. She's very excited to be doing this, which is fantastic. Her name is Debra Cox. Please give Debra Cox.
How's everybody doing? Thanks for coming out and supporting the tram. And don't forget to get some coffee or cappuccino. And the food is wonderful here. And hey, Utica City School District, thanks for coming. Thank you. A lot of colleges here tonight. And I think my mom's surprised that I have so many friends. So give it up for my mom. She's 86 years old. And let's give it up for Will and Phil. Actually, Phil's the reason I started doing the stand-up, because I've been going to Comedy Central New York, and Phil's the producer and host. Give it up for Phil. And I just love the show. So back in April, I thought, well, I'd really like to try it. So I called up Phil and I said, wow, Phil, aren't you having a show this week? Could I just try it? I just want to get on the stage once and just try it. And Phil's like, no. I don't think so. No. So I came here and I did my first stand-up, and Phil was here, and he stayed for the whole thing, which I thought was a good sign. So after I did that, I called up Phil and I said, Phil, you saw I did it. Can I do your show now? Because I just love his shows. Phil's hilarious, as you've seen, and he brings in these great headliners that are wonderful, and it's sponsored by the Holiday Inn, so all the comedians stay at the Holiday Inn. So I'm begging him, I just keep asking him if I can do, all right, I was begging him, I'm begging him, can I please do your show? And finally he says, well, you don't think I'm going to pay you, do you? And I'm like, no, I don't want to get paid, but could I stay at the Holiday Inn? So I'm really glad to be here tonight. My name's Debra Cox, that's C-O-X, and it was a really hard name to grow up with. Everybody was always making fun of me, and I don't know whether I was clueless or naive or borderline special ed, because I didn't get the jokes. Even in high school, I'm sitting on the bus, minding my own business, and the football players would get on and it's like, shove in Cox, shove in Cox. Do you like it? And I'm like, no, I don't like it. I wanted to sit on the aisle. They're always making fun of me. And my sister, her name was Sharon Cox. Oh my God. What were you thinking? And I have two uncles, had two uncles. One was named Harold, so they called him Harry. And then the other one, this was like 1920. He was born dead in West Virginia. And my grandmother got up and shook him until he finally started crying. So he was really the very first shaken baby syndrome, and he was never normal. So they called him Fuzzy. Fuzzy Cox. And I had an aunt named Cox, and she married a man named Peters, so it's just a bad name, Cox, C-O-X. I mean, really, I guess we're just a bunch of dicks. So I've been married 3 times, divorced 3 times. I always take Cox back. What can I say? I like Cox. So any ladies here engaged, or any ladies thinking about getting married? I got some advice for you. Always hyphenate your name. You gotta hyphenate, because when it doesn't work and it goes down, all you gotta do is get out the whiteout. White out his name and you're single again. It's great. Yeah, I bought stock in whiteout. So yeah, I've been divorced 3 times. The first time was rough, but by the time you get to the 3rd one, it's like, here we go again. You know what? Give me the keys, give me your cell phone, and put your little boy pants on and just go on home. But the first one was rough, and I have no regrets, because I got 2 great kids, and their father's a wonderful man. But ladies, why do we do this? When we're dating and we're young, we fake interest in what the guy's like. Why do we fake interest? I did it. I remember, the kid's father liked to hunt and fish all the time, so I'd say, oh, I'd love to get up at 5 o'clock and go fly fishing. That would be fun. And ooh, I love these waders. Do they make my butt look big? Yeah, that's what we do. And then, after we snag them and reel them in, we don't fake interest anymore. No, we don't. It's like, I'm not getting up to go fishing. But you know what? There's only one thing that we really like about you guys. We don't like your hobbies or your interests or your sports. We like your wonderful sea. That's what we like. That's all I ever wanted was your wonderful sea. Yeah, your cologne. I love the cologne. Give me a bottle of Old Spice and I'm good for a year. So, yeah, I just want the cologne. So, the kid's father and I were really different because we lived in West Virginia, and he's an engineer and he hunted and fished all the time. And I was a speech pathologist, and I moonlighted as an actor. So we'd go to work, he'd get out and go fishing, I'd get out and go do a show, the cast party, stay out all night. There were mornings I went to work looking like a drunken clown, and I only went to school so that I could take a nap. And I was a speech pathologist, so I scheduled the kids that I wanted to see that day. So I always scheduled the kids that couldn't say their SH sound. Like, come on in, shh. And then I could take a nap. It was great. So yeah, so obviously that didn't work. So I got a divorce and I had my 2 kids, and it was great. I didn't date. By the way, I can't see everybody in here. If there's somebody in here and we dated like in the past 10, 15 years and I don't mention you, you are okay. So yeah. So I didn't date back then when I got divorced. I had my kids and it was fun, and Saturday nights I'd make some popcorn, splash a little Old Spice on everybody, and we'd just watch a movie, and it was the best night. It was great. But then they went away to college, and I hear they're doing great. It's sort of like a litter of puppies that runs away. You know what? Just in case this goes on YouTube sometime, I'm going to say hello to my kids. Jen and Wes, hi, it's Mom. Haven't seen you in a long time. I got my hair cut. Got some Old Spice and popcorn if you want to come home Saturday night. Yeah, probably explains why they don't come home. So anyway, that was the first one, and then they went away and I remarried. Yeah, I was married for 2 months. I was diagnosed with cancer and he left me. So, no sad faces. I'm a 10-year survivor, so God is great and I'm blessed. I'm doing great. So, it was a rough time though. I thought I was getting a bridegroom. I didn't even get the best man. I got the breast man. Yeah, and he was a big boob. So once the breasts were gone, the boob was out the door. So yeah, it's all good. God blessed me, and I mean, come on, at my age, if I still had the girls, I'd be stepping on them. So it's all good. So I got through that, and then along came number 3. And number 3 was 15 years younger than me, and he was from Alabama, so we had so much in common. We really did. He was very religious. He was a black Southern Baptist, Bible-toting, Bible-thumping, narcissistic sociopath. That's what he was. So, yeah, God's got a sense of humor. He really does. He had his own landscape business, which meant he had a lawnmower. And every day it was something. People suing him, the police coming to the house, calling me at work, telling me he needed a new lawnmower or a truck. And it was just awful. And I should have known that he only married me for my credit cards and my money, because when I first met him, he's like giving the praise, and he's got his Bible and everything. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Then after 3 months, he's got a new truck, a John Deere mower, clothes from the mall, and all I hear is, thank you, Visa, thank you, Visa. And I should have picked up on this one. He called all of his clients baby. He's on the phone, he's like, yeah, baby, I'll come over and whack your weeds. Yeah, baby, I can come trim your bush on Saturday. That'll be good, yeah. But then when I called him or something, he's like, he called me Miss Debbie. Miss Debbie, he'd say, Miss Debbie, what you want? And this whole thing nearly killed my mother. She just, I mean, she wouldn't even go to the funeral. I mean, she was, I mean the wedding. It wasn't a funeral. She wouldn't go to the wedding. I promise you nobody dies in this story. But there were days I wanted to kill him. But anyway, she wouldn't go to the wedding. And then after about 6 months, she finally started talking to me again. So I sort of wanted to fix things with her. So I booked our annual trip to the Dominican Republic. And all he had to do was pick us up at the airport at 11 o'clock. So it's midnight, and we're standing out there, and she's tired, and he's nowhere in sight, and my phone rings. And apparently, when you're from Alabama, you don't know that you can't back up on the thruway and talk on the cell phone. So he gets pulled over by the state trooper, and he's in my car, which is in my name, and you know what that is. What's my name? Cox. Yeah. So he's got a hoodie on, so they think he stole my car. So they run his license, and oh, it gets better. There's a warrant out for his arrest from 5 years ago. So he goes to jail, and I have to explain this to my mom, who finally just started talking to me again. So yeah, it was awful. So I have to get a cab and go on the thruway and get my car. Now, I've been in the Dominican Republic for 10 days, and I'm tan, and I had long hair with the trenza beads and the braids. I mean, if I'd been taller, I could have been a Dominican pole dancer. So it's really not the look you want when you got to talk to a state trooper. But anyway, I got my car, and then the next morning, he calls me, and he says, Miss Debbie, you got to go get $500 and come bail me out. So any Medea fans here? Anybody like the Medea movies? I just love them. I'm thinking, what would Medea say? $500? Yeah, I know. I'm like, hell to the no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. So I go to the bank and I get the $500. And I go to Syracuse. He gets in the car and he says, it was cold in there. The next time I get arrested, I'm going to bring a sweater. And all of a sudden, this light went off, and I thought, there's something wrong with him. There's really something wrong with him. So, yeah. But you know what they say? What is it? Once you go black, you never go back? Well, I say, once you go brown, your credit goes down. That is true. So, yeah, I thank God I had no eggs left when I met him. But he met somebody, he cheated on me, and he found somebody with eggs. And wait till you hear this, talk about karma. Before the ink on the divorce papers was even dried, he had twins. Twins, how's that for karma? No job, I took the John Deere mower, and he's got twins. What a lucky girl she was. So yeah, wow, this was like a big therapy session. You guys... like $10,000 in psychotherapy. It was great. So I really like doing stand-up. I started doing this in April, and I just love it because I used to do theater, which was a lot of work. She had the rehearsals and the cast parties, and my liver couldn't take it anymore. So I don't do that anymore. But this is fun because all I have to do is I go to work and I write down all the stuff I'm thinking about while I'm supposed to be working. Yeah. Or I call home and ask my mom what she's doing. Because we have attention deficit in our family. So if you call my mom, she never says hello. She just jumps into the conversation. It's like, ring, guess what happened? Ring, you won't believe this. And she's always got a story. So yeah, we have the attention deficit, and it's rough to live with. Because when somebody says something to you, you only get half of it. And then if you got the comedy gene kicks in, and you're not really listening. I'm not sure whether you're not hearing or you just don't care. Never really figured that out, but you miss a lot. So, and then the comedy gene kicks in, and you're not really processing what they're saying. You're just trying to think of something funny to say. So, but I got my sense of humor from God and my mom, and I know it's a blessing because laughter is the best medicine. It truly is. And my mom's the one that taught me how to laugh, and she always laughed at me, although most of the time I didn't know why. So, you know, I think life is kind of ironic, because I went to West Virginia University, and all I wanted to do was be a theater major and perform and entertain people. And my mother kept saying, you'll never get a job. What are you going to do? You'll never make any money doing that. You just won't. Why don't you be a speech pathologist? And I thought, all right, that's what I'll do. So I've been doing this for 35 years. And now I'm thinking about retiring. And look, oh, I'm not getting paid, am I? So, guys, you have been wonderful. Thank you.
Debra Cox, everyone.